So I did order this on Amazon, and the listing that I saw had the case that came with the leak detector, and I like the case too, so keep it all as nice and neat as I can. And I had seen where you could build these things. There's multiple videos on YouTube and different places where you can build your own for around or less than $50, and this was significantly more than $50, but yeah, say around 100, the 150-ish range. But by doing it this way, I get the attachments that come with it, which some people, that's not going to be a big deal. You've got this for checking like gas caps for bad gas caps, and for leaks back at the gas tank area. Here's the unit itself. Set that to the side. And then it does take just regular baby oil, and it worked fine when I did open it up before. And this is the two pieces that I like the most, or the piece that I like the most. And here's something you gotta have, is the power cord. So this thing, when I took it out of the box, you can put it into a exhaust pipe or intake tube or something like that, and it's really small. But as you start pumping this thing up, I was getting really nervous about right here that would be too big. I thought, man, what good is that for? Unless you're working on like a little small car's exhaust pipe. But this thing will really blow up, and I'm going to show you guys that just here in just a second. I'm going to put it in the exhaust on this truck, and then to deflate, you just push the button, and show you how it works that way. So we'll lay this to the side because I'm definitely going to want to use it. The power cord gets laid to the side, definitely going to need it. This was a nice touch. Another reason I chose to go with this one versus building one homemade is it does have a hook, so you can hang it on the hood, you can hang it wherever, and I thought that was a super nice touch. Put it up here out of the way, and then you have this hose right here that just let this fall a little bit, and this just screws in to the side here. One piece I do wish that it had came with that it did not is for like shredder valves. Like if you wanted to check an evap system or something like that, that actually comes with the piece that you screw down onto the shredder valve, down onto the fitting, and it actually has the chuck inside to push and open the actual shredder valve, so you don't have to take it out. I will be ordering one of those because it didn't come with one. I did notice it does burn through the baby oil pretty good. I used it for a couple of hours the other day, and that's how much I used. So we'll refill it here in just a second. But that's about all I'm gonna need out of the kit. Lay it right up on top of the engine there. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the power cable just to plug it in, even though we're still a little ways away from that. But go ahead and plug it in right like that. And the gauge on the front, if you're checking something that you know should not have a blockage in it, and you start getting pressure building up right here, that'll let you know that there is a blockage. I thought that was a nice touch. That's on something that I wouldn't have made myself. It does have an air compressor built into it, so I don't have to drag my shop air out or an air hose out and try to run a homemade rig like that. I can just push the button and turn the air compressor on, and then when I'm ready for smoke, I push this button, and it lets it start smoking and blowing the smoky air out through here. So, like I said, all in all, the more I looked at it, the more I just didn't want to make a homemade. So, in the kit, it also comes with a small funnel, which I thought was a nice touch, and I have been using it quite a bit, which is funny that it's got that yellow tint to it. Not sure about that, but go ahead and drop the funnel in right like that. Take the baby oil, we're going to need to turn it sideways so we can see the sight glass right here, and I'm going to have to hold it level, so I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but Just completely full. I overfilled it a little bit, but I did that a couple times the other day and it didn't seem to hurt anything. So now as you start using it, you just need to keep an eye on that glass because it will burn that oil out. So now we'll put this back. I'm actually going to just let it sit on top of the truck for a few minutes while we're doing the other, and we'll put this back down. And so far I've had this for about a week, and I filled it up, used it, filled it up, used it, and I put it in the case. It hasn't leaked any out. Now there wasn't anything in it right there, but the case is not all oily, and there's no signs of it leaking out. So that's a good thing. I'm not saying it won't leak, I'm just saying I haven't experienced a leak at this time. So now we're back here at the exhaust pipe with the attachment, and I'm gonna lay it in here, and just for showing, that's how big that thing's gonna have to swell up. I mean, my whole hand can fit in here with it. It's gonna have to swell up pretty big. And at first, when I first took it out of the box, I was thinking, man, that thing's gonna be worthless. But as I started using it and playing around with it, it actually pumps up pretty big. This is a 4-inch pipe, and it will expand enough to fill this pipe up. So there we go. That should be a good seal. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder, but I'm gonna get wet shortly if I don't hurry up and get things done. So I didn't have enough cord to go from the back of the truck to the front of the truck, but this is kind of a long truck, crew cab pickup. So once you connect the power, you'll notice the red light comes on right here. That lets you know that it does have power. Now we'll turn the air compressor on. You hear it humming. It's very quiet. I like that. And then I'll try to let it run for just a minute, and then I will press this button to turn the smoke on. You'll hear it kind of bog down because it takes a little power to heat up that heating element. And then there's the smoke. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I can see it really, really well. The camera doesn't seem to pick the smoke up. Now, I was worried with this thing on the DPF filter and all that stuff that's got in the exhaust on this truck, if the smoke would ever even make it up to the front of the truck, but we'll see. You can see the oil in the sight glass there, kind of bubbling around. I kind of have it tilted for you guys to be able to see it, but it will sit there and bubble. You just have to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't go dry. This is close to where I had my leak. My leak was actually on the manifold right below this flange, and I kind of hoped that we would see some smoke out of there, but it's not. I had to travel the full length of the truck, go up and through the catalytic converter, the DPF filter, through the turbo, and turn around and come all the way back down the up pipes and come out right there. So, you know, that's not going to work so good on this particular truck. But if you were looking for an exhaust leak somewhere down the line, I believe it will work great. So seeing as how we didn't get any smoke out of the front of the truck, we're going to go ahead and turn this off, turn the smoke portion off anyway. And then now we're going to deflate this, and I want you guys to see how much smoke comes out of this exhaust pipe. It's still blowing smoke out of here too. But that's a lot of daggone smoke. If there was an exhaust leak in the pipe, I feel pretty confident that would find it, and I'm amazed that this thing blows up that big without actually blowing itself out. So checking for leaks like down through here, or checking your actual intake manifold, or anywhere where one component bolts to another component and it has air transfer, moving through it. If you think you may have a leak, I never would have thought that this would have blown up tight enough to seal off in that hole, but I did use it the other day, and one thing that I thought was pretty, it kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting it, is I aired this up and it made a good tight seal just like that. I put the smoke to it, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and I was looking around for 10 minutes looking to see if I could find anything leaking, because I had the squealing noise and I was looking for that, which turned out to be the exhaust leak. So as it's coming out, the smoke is coming out through here, it went into the crankcase breather tube and went around and went into the crankcase. And I wasn't thinking anything about it, but I started seeing smoke coming from the water pump area, and I have a video clip of that I'm gonna try to put in here right now. it was smoking, and I was looking, I couldn't really figure out where it was coming from. Now I know I have a slight oil leak at the front main seal, and I've been planning on addressing that as soon as I can, but it's just been one thing after another. So it's on the list, it's just not at the top yet. So I thought that was pretty, it caught me off guard. I never would have expected to see smoke coming out of my front main seal, but it was coming from right behind the balancer. So I thought that was neat. That's something I hadn't thought about. So this is the engine in my 2000 C5 Corvette. Now the other day when I got the smoke machine, I was excited to put it on something other than the truck because I kept hitting roadblocks with the truck. But I went ahead and came in right here, and this is the brake booster. Went ahead and pulled this hose off of the brake booster itself. And go ahead and disconnect this hose from the brake booster. Take the smoke line, and how it's got that, the way that fits right there, you can push it in, get a good tight fit. Now we'll go around and turn it on. So we'll just press the power button right here. I like to let it come on and stay on for just a second before I go any further, but we'll go ahead and get the line for the smoke. And it's about to start raining. I'm about to have to close up shop and head in the house. So we'll let this sit here and let it smoke out the system pretty good for a minute, and then we'll see what happens. This car does have a Ram cold air intake setup, so it does grab all of its air right through the cutouts in the front. Look at all the smoke rolling out that cutout. So it is definitely got the system full of smoke. It's actually coming back through the air filter and pushing it out the cold air vents, or cold air intake ducts. Now, something I wasn't expecting to see is I do see smoke once again coming from right up front here. So I'll pull this loose. See the smoke coming from there. So if I would have had a leak right there, it would have definitely shown. But I have a leak coming from, yep, there it is. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. Or maybe not. Right here on this side. I don't know, but that was lightning if you guys saw that. So I'm gonna end this video right here. So this has been just kind of a quick review of the Ancel S2000 smoke machine, smoke leak detector. I looked for 3 months on that car trying to find a vacuum leak back a couple years ago, and it just so happened one day I found it. I had tried brake parts cleaner, I tried all the old tricks that I've been using ever since I've been tinkering with cars, and this thing would have went right to it. So I feel like for me it's money well spent. I also can think of many times when I had 18-wheelers that most of the time you can find leaks with soapy water in a spray bottle, but when you're working on air leaks in the dash, it can be kind of tricky, especially trying to spray water around electronics. You know, I didn't never like doing that. But this thing, if I could have found a port to plug it into where it would have fed the smoke through the air system, and it would have caused my leak behind the dash to start smoking. I can think of a whole lot of times where I would have wished I had this, but that's why I just went in and spent the money on it and bought this kit that came with the attachments. There is a couple of more attachments I'd like to find. I'm sure I can find them on Amazon or eBay or somewhere, like for the evap system and stuff like that. But as far as for what I'm going to use it for, this setup's going to be fine, and I don't really see any reason why it would fail. I feel like as long as you take care of it and keep it full of oil when you're using it, it should last me as long as I ever need it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Links are in the description if you want to check it out. And I did buy this with my own money. This is not a paid thing or anything like that. But yeah, it's fitting to come with blood. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.